Hello, everyone. I think that we're back after my, it feels like 500-day illness with Mr. COVID. I think I'm back. I worked a full week and yeah, I did wear out pretty easy and my body hurt, but you're probably going to have that whether you are sick or not if you are off for 3 weeks and then go back to work. But anyway, yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty normal. I'm trying to get back to my regular schedule and get things done and be healthy joy. And yeah, that was something. That was really something. That COVID is no joke. Let me tell you, it's no joke. So today I want to talk about my prayer practice. And I say practice because routine doesn't seem like the right word. Because I feel like, practice is when you do something to maybe get better and better at it. I don't know. The word practice just seems to fit the situation. And I think I've told you guys before that I generally, if I'm going to, dedicate time to prayer, that I generally will go outside to do that, especially in the warm months. The last, you know, the 4 months out of the year in Wisconsin you're even able to do that without bundling yourself up and freezing half to death. I don't like the cold, so yeah. Anyway, so I generally would just walk through the woods in the afternoon and have one of these guys in my ear and listen to some worship music and pray while I walked. And sometimes, if I was really focused, I would take the earbud out so I could, speak and then listen. But because I would turn you around to show you, but I don't know how much my camera would focus, but we have snow on the ground. And I think yesterday was the third day in a row that it snowed. We don't have a lot of snow because it's wet and we are getting above freezing during the day, so it is melting most of it, but it's sticking around and it's winter now. And even if we didn't have snow, the weather is cold and windy and yeah, it's gross. So I won't be walking through the woods. I may still try some snowshoes, but I won't be walking through the woods praying. So I have to adjust my schedule. And I also adjusted my schedule for that when I got sick because walking in the woods while I was sick like that was not really something I could do. So because I just didn't have the energy. So I had to try something different. So I know last winter I talked to you guys about, sitting in my closet and praying, and that was really cool, but I thought I'm going to try something else. And so anyway, enough rambling about it. Let's just get to it. So in the morning, I wake up, I make my coffee, and I go sit in my chair for a little while. And then I'll read my bits of the Bible that I am planning to read for that day. I have 3 books marked. Right now it is Chronicles, First Chronicles, and Psalms. And I just finished the book of Colossians. So every morning I will read one chapter out of each one of those books and then put my bookmark back in. And then I'll finish my coffee, and after my husband leaves for work, because he leaves pretty early in the morning, then I will go back into my bedroom, and it is still dark because the sun doesn't come up till much later because it's winter and we don't have a lot of hours of sunlight. And so I'll go back in my room and I'll put my earbuds in, and I'll usually play about 2 worship songs, and then I'll take them out, and then I'll start praying. And, I kind of recently, the way that I pray has changed. I used to approach it with like a list of requests, I guess, and maybe as a child, that's kind of how I was taught. It was kind of like, and I heard somebody say this, so you can't like make it my quote, but I heard somebody say this, and it really kind of stuck with me. Like, they're like, well, the situation's that bad. All we have left to do to pray is to pray. I'm like, that's all we have left to do? Like, it's come to that. That's all there is, you know? how about we start out with that? Instead of it being a last resort, how about we start out with that? And so I used to always just come with like all these petitions. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was trying to actually have a conversation in it and actually deepen my relationship, rather than just coming like God's my sugar daddy and he's going to give me everything I want if I complain enough. That's where I was sitting with it. So I've kind of come in with, just trying to come in initially with a thankful heart and just thank him for all the things that he does for me every single day. And I'm not talking about like a list of like, thank you for giving me a car. Thank you for, providing. And those things are important to thank him for. But what I mean is, I just, and I'm sitting in the dark. I don't know why that part's important. I guess I'm not as distracted if it's dark, I'm not as distracted. But I start with like, God, thank you for loving me. Thank you for being my father. Thank you for not abandoning me when I didn't talk to you for months. Thank you for never rejecting me. Thank you for accepting me as your daughter, despite me wanting to push away everything that you made me to be. Thank you for forgiving me. Thank you for giving me the things that you've given me to do. Thank you for the people that you've put in my life that are here to love me and help me. I come in with that. And I do speak out loud, not loud, but I do speak out loud because I don't know, for some reason that really is more effective for me to like stay in it and not let my mind drift off, I guess. And things do pop in my head while I'm praying, because then after I do all of that, then I will just sit for a while and be quiet and listen. And things do pop in my head, like this morning, because I'm going to butcher chickens today. Maybe you didn't need to know that, but immediately the plan of how it's going to roll out pops in my head. And then I almost have to push that away. I'm like, oh, no, let's focus back on Jesus. Let's not be thinking about that. Or I think like, oh, I should wash the dishes. No, let's focus back on Jesus. And, this isn't like a thing that I have to spend a certain amount of time. It's anywhere from 10 minutes and sometimes it's been a half hour. It depends on, it just depends on, like, you kind of know when you're done, you kind of know like, oh, okay, I feel really peaceful now, or I feel like I'm, I don't have anything else and nothing else is speaking to me. And so I'm done. So sometimes it's 10 minutes and it's been as long as a half hour. But so then I just sit quiet for a little while and I listen, and then I will, then speak into the things that I hear. And a lot of times I just feel very, just very loved. It is very, it's hard to explain what that feeling feels like, but I just feel very comfortable and very peaceful. When I initially started doing this, which is probably a good month ago or more, I spent a lot of that time crying, weeping, sobbing, just crying and crying, crying. And I wasn't necessarily like super devastated or super sad, but all these tears were coming and I just like, they were coming out of my gut, And I know that's because I have so many years of stored up tears and feelings that I never felt. And if you let the presence of God come over you, all the barricades that you put up against everything come off. So I did a lot of crying, and that was okay. It was a good thing to do. It was like a cleansing. But I can see how that would be very terrifying for some people to let that go. But so I didn't cry this morning. I learned very quickly not to put my makeup on before I come in to pray, because that crying, just comes all off, which is irrelevant to talk about. But so that is what I've been doing, and it has really brought me a lot of peace. I really am starting my morning off, kind of in the right place, like with my focus in the right place on my Savior, on my first love rather than on everything else in the world. And I have struggled very much in the past to pray necessarily for my own benefit. Not that we should, whatever. I didn't like how that came out, so then I wanted to correct it, but I'll just leave it there. And because I am a bit of an intercessor, I have always only ever prayed for other people. I have never really brought myself before the throne, Not that I am necessarily bringing myself before, but I'm just coming in with like, thank you for everything you've done, and whatever in me that needs correction or needs adjusting, show me. And those are the things that I say. And, then the tears come. And actually, that's been really good. It's been okay. But I do have other people come into my mind, of course, when I'm praying. And then I just, I turn them over. Like a certain friend will come into my mind and I'm like, God, I just place this person before you. I just lift them up to you, and whatever they need in this moment, increase your presence over them, whatever they need in this moment, and whatever that you're trying to tell them, and whatever you're trying to speak to them, just make it loud and clear, and just bring them peace, Lord, because, of course we all want just this peace, and all of us are looking for, peace and harmony and all of these things. And I'm starting to figure out that we're not going to find it unless we can connect to our Creator, because He is, Prince of Peace. So anyway, I hope I explained that well, but that has been my morning prayer practice, and it does take practice, because, you want to like do anything else other than do that. I never understand what that is, like the battle against that, but that focus time where you cut out, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, just to do it, has really been really good. So I encourage you guys, and I know those of you that are not believers or that are not prayers, just disregard or maybe try it and see. But I hope this was interesting for you, helpful maybe, and so I plan to do a different video today, but this was really like in me to do today. So but I'm glad to be back, guys. I'm glad to be healthy again, and I got a lot of work to do because I ran way behind being sick for 3 weeks. So live and love out of the way you were created.